All right, this is the week of November. What are we in? November 6th. All right, November has started. My name is Kadeen Shaw, and I'm going to do a market analysis on some of these tickers. All right, so first of all, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is not trading advice. This is simply for educational purposes by using mathematical formulas to calculate what's going on in the market. All right, so I haven't done one last week, so because we've been ranging, and you'll see why. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. Not going to do a lot. The market hasn't really been changing levels. We've been ranging, so there hasn't been any new support and resistant levels that I've been watching. But I'm going to show you a little bit of things. I have some new things added to my chart, and I'm going to explain them in a little bit so you guys can understand what it is that I'm looking for. But so far, the level that I've marked for watched, that I've been watching, those levels have definitely been holding, and price have been approaching those levels, whether it's resistance or support level, key levels, and have been bouncing. So with that being said, I've been taking note of that, and I just started adding a bit more features to it. So I'm going to show you guys. My chart may look a little bit cluttered, but I'm going to erase some of this stuff and explain what do I have on my chart so you guys can get an idea. So I'm going to start with YM. First of all, I'm looking at YM. These levels are still holding. I had and this is YM future. I had my support, my major support back at the 29,543 level. And I explained that to you guys again. Go and watch my other previous videos on my YouTube channel so you can see what levels I'm discussing and see how price has respected those. So I'm looking at this right now. Price did come down to that level. It broke below it a little bit, but again, that was a fake out. We can see that YM, I did have a Fibonacci retracement level on here. YM did break the 50% and the 60%, which it typically travels further than ES. So we can see that, and the same for Dow. When I go to the Dow, you'll see how Dow actually traveled further than SPX's Fibonacci level. So YM did break the 50%, it did break the 60%, and now it actually came up to about the 78%. And it retraced. It reacted to it. It reacted to a daily supply zone and then started retracing. So what am I looking at for YM right now? And let me go ahead and erase this Fibonacci level real quick so you guys can get a clearer picture of what my chart may be. So if I'm looking at this on YM, I saw that we were in an uptrend because, again, I had a cross down here. And then I can see that I had a slight, not a very strong upward bullish momentum. But as you can see right here at the bottom, once I see my light green meant that the momentum wasn't as strong. It's uptrending, but it wasn't as strong. The very lighter green meaning it was actually strong. So from here, it was great for me to get in. I got my buy signal here in addition to my crossing from my white downtrend ending. So those were signals for me in addition to a crossover my 50% line on the RSI. So these were a few signals for me, but I'm going to show you exactly what I look for when it comes to trends. So that would be nice to take a long position to go up and then exit when you find whatever your target area is. So for YM, I'm just curious to see what we're going to do now. Right now, YM is at an overbought level, so it's probably potentially time to come down, but we can see price could still range around here. And we are in election, all right? So this is November, and typically, historically, election year or even in general, when it comes to the market, October is typically when the market turn around, particularly when it comes to election year. So we'll see if November is going to be, historically is going to be the same, where it's actually turned for October, which October was bullish. So we're going to see if November, December, everywhere else start to become bullish and the market does a correction, especially because, again, this is midterms. So that was YM. Let me look at ES. I'm not going to go through them all. So ES, and the reason why I'm not going through everything, like I mentioned, the market has been ranging sideways. So no new levels have been formed. It's literally been bouncing back and forth between support and resistance. So those levels that I had prior, and if you look at my previous videos, those levels still hold. Those are the same levels. There's nothing new, but we can talk about what has happened in the meantime while it's been ranging. So looking at ES now, I like ES because I mentioned ES went exactly up to the 50% retracement mark, which is at this green line right here. And went there. We formed a nice shooting star candlestick formation right here on November 1st, the beginning of November. So October was straight bullish. November 1st started a nice shooting star right at that 50% line. And in addition to that, there was a daily supply zone there that I erased. So that was confirmation for me to say, okay, you know what? we may be turning back to the downside because the 50% retracement line is holding. In addition to that, from then, we can see that price now started to drop. With that being said, here's one thing that I look at for ES. I had my crossover, if you can look at it down here, this X and this this yellow X and this white X signify that my trend has ended. So that uptrend or the downtrend that was going on for a minute and consolidating, it ended when I had this cross. In addition to that, I have my price at my RSI above the 50% line and above the moving average. In addition to that, it actually gave me a white signal here. So I'm getting all these signals. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confluence right now that's telling me, you know what, it's time to buy. And then the sixth one was when I had this buy signal here to say, you know what, it is definitely time to buy. But however, for me, I did not buy because we were approaching the 50% retracement mark for me. So I wanted to see again, was this going to be a fake out? But you can see right now, initially it was, because price came here and dropped. So for me to see, to go long on this, I need some more confirmation, another 2 crossovers, in addition to what's going on with the RSI, another buy signal followed by my white line, my white candle, excuse me, and then a break above the 50% with a retest and the 50% holding. So I would look at that for ES. So looking at the Dow Jones real quick, the Dow Jones also went beyond its 50%, 60%, and close to 80% retracement. Dow Jones gave me a better buy signal than what ES did. And the reason why I'm saying that, if I'm looking back here on, what day was that? October 14th, when we had that very strong run-up, the day after that strong run-up, I had a double cross here, which is down here. This yellow X means that my trend was ending, so that means my uptrend. You can see right here is dark red, meaning I have strong a strong bearish trend going on. And then when the red faded, which is more of a burgundy, that means that my downtrend was losing strength. And then as you can see right now, it kept losing strength right here in this area. And then I got to this X right here, this yellow X is me. That's when I know that, you know what, your downtrend has ended. In addition to this white, that means I have a cross. So this was my double signal. Because my RSI, the price action is above this blue line, which is nice for me, but I didn't enter here because, again, it was not above the 50%. So I needed to be above the 50%. So I waited for the signal. So these two was already good. So I need the RSI to be above. So I didn't get to see it until it was above here, which you can see is above this 50% line. In addition to it, I have this white candle here. So this is my white candle. That was confirmation for me to say, okay, I'm ready to go. I can go long. I'm having double cross here, this 2 confirmation. I'm having this above my my moving average, which is 3. I'm also having it up now. It's above my 50% line, which is 4. It's in confluence with my white candlestick, right, which is here. That's telling me, okay, this downtrend is definitely ended. So now all I'm looking for is a signal. And again, after this candle right here, the next day, I got my buy signal, which is here. So when I got my buy signal here, I just entered in, wrote it up until I got into my whatever position that I decided to exit up. So that was Dow, and you can see what Dow is doing. So now Dow is showing me strong upward momentum with this very light green. This is telling me that momentum is strong on the upside. So, but in addition to that, I have my RSI at the overbought level. So it's particularly, it's almost time to come down. But again, price could essentially come back to this red line and keep bouncing for a little bit and trade sideways on this red line. So I'm looking for more signals. In addition to that, we came up to my downtrend line for the weekly, and it reversed or it rejected from it. So I'm trying to see how that's going to hold. I had this line here being a support, and price broke through it. So now it's still acting as support because price didn't close below it. So looking to see how this ends. So again, we can potentially see some more upward movement. One thing I mentioned in my last video, I told you guys about chart patterns. And before I did this about 2 weeks ago, I told you guys that we had a W pattern here, which is a double bottom. So we had a double bottom, W go up, and down. So once price broke above this top level, I told you it was a bullish reversal pattern. As you can see, once price broke above and this white candle here, this telling me, you know what? Okay, we are definitely, I need to position myself to go long. So this is what I did. I positioned myself to go long. And as you can see from there, it literally went up for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about a week. So you had a week worth of swinging if you do swing trade. So let's look at it right now. This is showing me that I'm having an intermediate bullish trend going on. So again, I'm just going to watch this because again, this is not in confluence with my RSI. My RSI is telling me that, you know, buyers may not be buying anymore and probably potentially wanting to start selling. But this indicator is telling me that I have a strong uptrend still going on. So again, for me, it's now candlestick formation, it's chart pattern, it's supply zones, and just resistant level to let me know whether or not to jump in or which direction to go. Even if you look on the 4 hours, sometime I may go down and see whether or not we are trending or are we consolidating. On the 4 hour, it was even better when you wanted to get in. I have my crossover here, double cross. So here's my cross X, my white cross. That's two confirmation that tell me that my downtrend, which is it was red, it was bright red. So that means I had a strong downtrend and was bright red. And then the red started fading into a burgundy-ish. That's telling me that my downtrend is losing strength, meaning that it potentially will come to an end. And after that, I had my double cross. So this X tell me, okay, now your downtrend just ended. This cross telling me that, okay, this white cross is telling me that, okay, we're going to switch position into an uptrending mode potentially, but again, wait for confirmation. So next I saw this buy signal. I think I got into it for this one, but I was stopped out because price went up and came back down and retest and then came back in. So I got back in after it came to the retest and wrote it back up. So all right, let's look at SPX real quick. So SPX did the same thing. It went up and it went to its retracement, which is the 50%, and it reacted, it stopped, and then it started coming back down. For what I'm looking at for SPX right now, again, same thing. These levels are holding. So price came to my first support level, as you can see here, back in October 13th. Price came here when we had that strong push up, and then it reacted from that level and it's been going up since then. So what am I looking for SPX? So on the daily for SPX, I did, if I'm looking at the bottom down here, again, as this strong momentum, downward momentum was going on for a minute, we can see price was going down. Price, the momentum kind of the downtrend lost a little bit of steam. It picked back up a little bit and then it lost some steam. So once I got my double cross after it lost steam, which I did here, this yellow X meant that, okay, my downtrend now literally has no more momentum. And then this white X is telling me, okay, we crossed over from downtrend mode to uptrend. So I have two right here. And at the same time, I have my RSI above my 50 line. So that's 3 confluences. And it's also above this EMA, which is 4 confluences. In addition to that, I have my white, which is here, my white line, my white candlestick. This is another confluence. And following my white candlestick, I have my buy signal right after that. So again, this was enough confirmation for me to jump in and go for a long position. But because this was close to its 50% retracement mark for SPX, I did not swing this. I just went in and I went down to the intraday level and I started scalping these levels because, again, I knew that there was some things going to happen potentially when it comes to the 50% because this was a major level. So if I go down to the 4 hour, I think I actually played SPX and even SPY. I was playing the 1 hour and the 15 minutes all this time. So you can see price came down. Same thing. It came down. It did my double cross here, up here, and then I went in for, even if you went on the 4 hour, you had a much better chance of swinging versus the daily. So the 1 hour and the 4 hour will give you a better chance of swinging if you want to swing versus day trading or scalping. So if I look at the 4 hour right now, same thing. Let me look at my confluences. So again, I see here that we were downtrending for a strong downtrend based on this dark red telling me that we're downtrending strongly. When I have my burgundy red, it's telling me, okay, my downtrend is losing strength. Now, once I get my X, my yellow X is telling me, okay, your downtrend is ended. In addition to this cross, it's telling me, okay, now we're uptrending. We're starting to go up. And how do I know if I'm uptrending? Now, here's my confirmation. This bright green is telling me that I have strong uptrend going on. As you can see, we were uptrending for a little bit. In addition to that, this arrow, this green arrow is also confirmation for me for uptrending momentum. And at the same time, I have my RSI above my 50 line and above my moving average. And again, finally, at that line, I have literally, I like when I have my 2 crosses aligned with my white candle. As you can see the white right here. I like that. And then following that, I see a buy signal. So again, for me, I'm hopping in when I see this buy signal. I already knew I was going to hop in here, but once I get the buy signal, for me, if I'm going to swing, I'm going to hop in at this next candle, the buy signal, and just ride it up a little bit until I get to my target, whichever your target is. So that's kind of how I look at it. Same thing. SPY is mirroring SPX, as you know. So same thing. It went to the 50% retracement and turned back around. Right now, from last week, or Friday, if I make this a little bit bigger, Friday SPY actually consolidated. So Friday and Thursday, it consolidated. How do I know? When my candlesticks are yellow, that means that we're consolidating, right? And I have different colors. I explain that later on. In addition to that, at the bottom here, where you see this yellow mark here, so it's not green and it's not red, it's yellow. This is telling me that we're also consolidating. So that's, for me, I knew, okay, we're ranging. These are telling me that we're uptrending. Once these turn to dark green, that means that, okay, this uptrend is losing strength. Once this bright red turns to a bit of a burgundy, it's telling me that my downtrend is losing strength. And then whenever I see it as, here we go, here's an example, yellow right here. When it's yellow, that's telling me we're just consolidating. Even though we may be moving up or down, we potentially still consolidate. And you can see right here, my candle aligns with the consolidation. So you can think about how you want to treat consolidating market and going from there, or raising market rather. Or sometime this week, I don't follow politics, but election is coming up, midterm. So that may have an effect on the market. You may see that. So again, we consolidated for a little bit and we're sitting inside of a 1 hour demand zone. So seeing how that works. We have a supply zone right above it. So again, I'm seeing to see if price is going to come up here, reject and push back down because of this sell signal here. But again, remember, you can definitely get a lot of different fake outs or fake signals. So I need more confirmation. But I do have right now, I do have on the 4 hour, I do have some strong support. I have my strong green uptrend that went on for a little bit. So price went up for a minute. And then this green uptrend faded to a darker green. So that's telling me that, okay, this strong uptrend or pullback, whatever you want to call it in this moment, is actually losing strength. With that being said, and then I get my yellow cross to tell me, okay, this uptrend is definitely lost momentum. In addition to my white cross is telling me, okay, the bears are now trying to come in the market. And then followed by that, we do have my RSI right below my 50 line. That's great for me. That's when I short. Whenever it's between the 50 line and the bottom line, I'll short. If it's above the 50 line and in between the red line, then I'll go long. So now because it's below that, and that's a short signal for me. In addition to that, it's below the EMA, this blue EMA. So that's 4. Fifth one, we have this white line, which is my white candle. You can see it behind this green candle. That's going to be confirmation for me. So I like that. That's number 4 or 5, whatever number I was counting. And finally, I have the sell signal that follow right behind it. So telling me to go short. So for me right now, yes, I'll probably be bearish on SPY, but I would need some more confirmation. I have things that's telling me to go, but I'm going to need a bit more confirmation solely because we literally traded side. Even after my sell signal, we traded sideways for a few candles. So I just need some type of maybe a pullback up here and a candlestick formation pattern before I go down. I would even go down to maybe the 1 hour to see. You can see the 1 hour is a little bit more clear. These yellow candle that tells me that we've been consolidating. So even though I got my sell signal, for me, it wasn't time to jump in, even to swing right now. Scalping, yes, I definitely did scalp these candles. But to swing, it may not be easy because the market didn't really move anywhere. It literally moved up, then down. So what I did, I just traded from the top to the bottom, back up to the top because it was ranging. So now we're just looking to see where we are. But on the 1 hour, it's showing me that we are still in bearish territory because it's below the 50 line. On the RSI, I already had my downtrend ending. I had my crossover, and now I had my sell signal. So again, just looking to see, and I do have a supply zone right above it. So if price is to go up to here, I'm looking to see how will price react when it come up to this level here, and then potentially go down. So I need to see where price is going to break out from this consolidating area. So that is SPY. I like Amazon. I know people are starting to rack up on Amazon. Amazon, I'm watching the 81.30 level. So Amazon already passed this 89 level that many investors actually load upon. That's the level they was watching to buy Amazon share to hold for the long term. And you can see whenever that happened, the market did bounce back a little bit because a lot of people were loading up. So now it's starting to come down a little bit still. So I'm going to see what's going on. So Amazon 81.30, that's the level I'm waiting on to see what price does when it comes down. And at the same time, Amazon is showing me that it's oversold. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see some buying opportunities coming up. Plus this hammer candlestick formation that was formed on Friday. I'm curious to see what that does. In addition to that, we can see that momentum or volume down here is high, but it's selling volume is high, but it's somewhat decreasing. So I would look to see what that does. But again, also based on the overall market. So on Amazon, I'm still getting a downtrend, a strong downtrending right now. Still, I haven't gotten any confirmation that said, you know what, this downtrend is ending and we're turning around. Other than my RSI is the only thing that's telling me that price may potentially turn around. Other than that, there's nothing else that's giving me signals. So the RSI is telling me that price may turn around in addition to my hammer. Those two things. But again, I'm looking for other confirmation from these indicator cross up, trend ending, whatever the case may be, to let me know that Amazon to move up. Apple is not really doing a lot. So again, these yellow candles tell me for Apple, Apple has been consolidating, ranging. Let me not use consolidating. I'm going to use ranging instead, because a lot of people ask me about what is consolidating versus ranging. So even though price started up here and Apple came down, the reason why I say it is ranging and they call this a ranging candle, because here was a low, Apple went up here and came back down to that previous low. So if it went back up here again to that 50 and came back down, even though it's traveling up and down over the course of a few days or a week, it's still considered ranging, because it's literally only traveling between this range at the top, which is resistant, and this range at the bottom, which is support. So if price is bouncing back and forth from support to resistant, that's why we call it a ranging market. Yes, you can still trade those on the intraday or even swing them if you want to. But again, because it's ranging, that's why I see my yellow candles for Apple, because we've been ranging. We went up to resistant 50% line and came right back down. We did it here, came right back down. So it's somewhat of a ranging market. With Apple, though, Apple did give me a crossover here to buy. I didn't get in. Right here, the RSI is below. So I'm looking to see now, am I going to get a crossover? And as soon as we get out of this ranging market as well. So down here, you can see this yellow. This yellow is telling me that we're ranging. So again, I don't like to trade when we're ranging. I needed to break out of consolidation mode because we're now consolidating due to this yellow. And once we break out, depending on what my signal is, where my RSI is, what I'm getting from these signals, and where my buy or sell signal is, I will decide whether which direction to take in the court, in addition to what the market is doing. So here we are looking at SPY, and I'm going to show you how this indicator works very nicely. All right, here's one. Here's an example. So I back test. Here we are, and I'm looking from down here. So I have this level here. First things I saw, let me start here. This yellow down here tells me that we are ranging or consolidating. So as you can see, the market moves sideways, and the candles tell you. These yellow candle is correlating with this yellow line down here telling me that the market is moving sideways, okay? As you can see, the market literally moves sideways. Now from then, this red here tells me that, okay, I have a strong downward momentum starting. So before I even went sideways, you can see right here, this X told me, okay, let me back up. This blue is a downtrend. This X telling me that trend has ended, or the uptrend ended. Oh, this is the uptrend that ended here. We started consolidating again. Then we had a crossover. So that means our trend, we're changing direction again. So now at the crossover, what's next? I had this white right here. You can see the white line. So following the white, I have a sell signal. So again, with the sell signal, I also have my my RSI below my 50 and below my moving average. So for me, this is a strong place to get in for a short. Got in, wrote it down to whatever your resistance level was or your support level. Right here, we have a strong downward momentum signal here. So for me, yes, I wrote it all the way down. Now I'm starting to get out or looking to exit once I see that the color is fading. So once the color is fading, it's telling me, okay, that downward momentum is losing strength. So now it's time to either take profit, exit, and reposition yourself for another buy or another position. So how do I know I got out? Once I got out, I looked here. This white here shows me, okay, this downtrend is potentially ended. So whenever, that's my first signal, that white part of it. So whenever I'm uptrending or downtrending, whenever I see this white or even like a yellow candle, which is a caution candle, I would be like, okay, it's time for me to exit and wait for a signal. So this white telling me, okay, we're definitely downtrending and we're probably ending. In addition to this white, it also aligns with my RSI at my oversold level. So when it's there, that's telling me, okay, the market is going to potentially bounce back and start to buy. So it's now to exit any short position and get ready for any long position. So once I got my oversold, the next candle that formed right here, it was a buy signal. So for me, at this buy signal, did I get in? Not necessarily. Even though I like this right here, which is my downtrend ending. I like that I have my downtrend ending. I like that my RSI was telling me, okay, it's time to buy. And now the third thing it gave me, that the buy signal was right after that. So those are three. Did I get in there? No, because I wanted my double cross. So when I came down here and saw my double cross, this yellow definitely gave me confirmation to say, you know what? Yep, your downtrend has ended. This cross is telling me, okay, your uptrend is starting to start. So now for me, this is a time for me to get back. But because of when this happened, these didn't happen at the same time. They happened lagging each other, or the order that they happened matters to me. So the order that it happened for me wasn't an order for me to jump in aggressively. So what did I do? I waited for confirmation. So what I did, I waited for confirmation and price to come back and retest the level, which it did here. And once I see this retest, I decided to hop in and try to ride it up. So I capped this for a little bit until I kept seeing some other opportunities and kept riding up. Once I see consolidation, I exited. And then the next thing, once I see this bright green started again, that's telling me, and here I have a turquoise and a green, that's double, and this bright green, that's triple. And I have this RSI above 50, that's number 4. I have it above this one, that's number 5. So for me, okay, let's hop in. And it's after my downtrend line, so let's go ahead and ride this up. So that's kind of how I read these trends. For you guys who are looking to trade again this week or coming up, just be smart, be patient. Let me see what I'm looking for, what's going on. I don't see anything, or we've been consolidating. So for me, I'm waiting for a breakout to see where I'm going to go. So for me, I'm probably only going to be scalping this week on the lower time frame, particularly the 1 hour. Well, no, I chart on the 15 minutes and I take my trade on the 5 minutes. Sometimes I do the 3 minutes and the 1 minute, depending on what momentum and market volatility is. You already know how to get at me. If you have any question, drop it in the market analysis chat or send me a message on Telegram and we'll go through. But other than that, this was just a quick analysis of what's to come. Nothing new that I'm seeing. Just be patient. And if I see anything change during the week, and I will probably do an updated market analysis, or there's so much uncertainty in this market, so I don't feel comfortable with swinging for a long period of time unless I get a strong confirmation, a multiple confirmation, buy signals, sell signals, crossovers, my RSIs in tune, a candlestick formation, my chart patterns, my momentum, all that stuff in Confluences. The more I get, the better I feel about swinging in this market condition. Other than that, I'm trying to go in and out with the bag. That's about it. Not trying to spend long in the market, maybe 5 minutes, no more than an hour, in and out, and we're going to scalp it. So other than that, man, this is it for me for this week market analysis. And again, if you have any question, you know where to find me. Again, this is Gideon Shaw, and I will see you guys on the other side.